Greetings, Harbingers. Welcome to Yliaster, PewDiePie's favorite channel, your realm of personal development, alchemy, and stoicism. Please subscribe to the channel, help a brother out, give the thumbs up. Today's video's title is Your Ego is Not Your Amigo. It is a good rhyme, but also every bit as pure of truth. So, without further ado, let's go to the video. To talk about ego, I am bringing here Ayn Rand. Who is Ayn Rand? She was a Russian-American writer, most known for the concept of objectivism, a philosophy emphasizing rationality, self-interest, individualism, and capitalism. So, as a libertarian, of course, I will bring like Ayn Rand to this channel. So, Ayn Rand explores the concept of egoism not through the lens of selfishness, but as a commitment to one's true values and a genuine seek of happiness. Wow, and I even forgot, look at this scenario, right? I always pick the best scenarios for the video. You gotta give me that, right? So you deserve your thumbs up. Anyway, I digress. Ultimately, Ayn Rand also conveys that ego must be overcome as a final goal in order to achieve a greater connection with one's true self, which is the perfect juxtaposition for this video and this provocative title, Your Ego is Not Your Amigo. The ego tends to be seen as a bad thing solely. It's also associated back to Samael or Lucifer's original sin. He had such an inflated ego that he thought he could be like his creator, and therefore, according to the Christian theology, everything from that went like to mayhem all the way through Eve's original sin as well, influenced by Samael, Lucifer himself. So that's a story for another video. Again, I digress. So what is ego? Ego is a sense of self that meditates between our self-instinct and societal expectations. Ego is a role of both protection and misalignment. Therefore, it can be seen, it can be acknowledged as a frenemy. Ego can also distort one's reality between prioritizing external validation over intrinsic, wow, that's a hard one, over intrinsic worth. Am I pronouncing that right? We can use like pretty known examples such as materialism, competitiveness, this need for approval that is exacerbated through all social media. Ego is a survival tool, but not the best guide for fulfillment. Again, to quote Ayn Rand, she believed that egoism associated with rationality and integrity can lead to greatness. Therefore, we can and we should celebrate the individual, according to Rand, and I also agree with that. Let me give you a polemical example. And tell me if I'm crazy to what I'm about to state here. Do you know these people who fight for justice causes, who embrace in an extreme way collectivism, and are always thinking about collectives as a whole, as one thing altogether? I'm under the impression that these people who fight with so much emphasis towards this so-called social justice causes are the ones who actually hates most their equals. I will say that again. Those who fight for justice and collective causes are the ones that hates most their equals. I think one doesn't need to think too hard to acknowledge what I'm saying here. So, ultimately, is ego a good or a bad thing? I tell you, depend on how it's used. If your ego is driving you to do your best to survive, to serve others by excelling yourself in whatever you offer, whatever you have to offer to the world. Look what I'm saying here. If you are boosting your ego to be the best version of yourself, to serve others and therefore be rewarded for that, you are truly helping build a better society and therefore the collective. Because, my friend, guess what? Who is the biggest minority in the scheme of things? Yes, you guessed it right. It's the individual. So if society couldn't dispose of selfish people who would act out of selfishness toward a particular interest to solve a problem in the society, we probably would never make any progress. We can see some examples in some societies that embrace a collective creed and therefore could not find space or a mindset for progress and for growth. This is a highly controversial subject, and this video is highly controversial already, so I will let that between the lines and you can have your own interpretation. To conclude this video, I invite you to make a self-reflection and look inside yourself, go introspectively and analyze your own ego. How are you using it? It is a tool that's driving you to your best version. Are you serving society through it? Or it's just a dark coat of outer validation that you're too blind to see, and it's trapping you in an egotistic bubble that's preventing you from seeing the bigger picture. Your ego may not be your amigo, but it could be a tool, it could be an ally for you to achieve greatness in this life. Tell me your thoughts on that subject. I may bring some more ego videos here in the Yliaster channel, so let me know what you think. And see you in the next video. El Psy Conguru.